Thank you, our viewers. My name is David Shori Mwangi, your host today for this show, where our guest today is Marjorie, who will be telling us more about Cysha, her organization that will empower the vulnerable in the community. So enjoy and relax, and we'll be empowering more people. So you can also like and subscribe to our channel. Welcome, Marjorie.
Thank you, Mwangi. Thank you so much. Like you heard, my name is Marjorie Wanjiku Bernard. I like being called Marj. So, yeah, I live in Orlando, Florida, in the United States. I live in an area called Lake Nona, one of the most desired places in Florida. And yeah, I'm back home. Karibu nyumbani, this is home.
Yeah? Karibu, welcome back.
Yes, yes.
Yes, so you can tell us a bit of a introduction or background about yourself.
Oh, well, where do I start? I was born 53 years ago in at Kimwani Hospital. That was in 1970 November. And I was born to a single family home. My mom raised me. She was my mother and she was my father. And I have an older sister. And yeah, that's about it.
So you lived in, you were born in the city?
I was I was born in Nairobi. I think the first 7 years of my life, we lived in Huru Estate. And then after Huru Estate, we moved to Jericho.
Yeah.
So Jericho all the way from 7 years until probably I was about 21, lived in Jericho.
Okay.
And that's why I had to share where I came from, you know, that little girl from Eastlands Dairy. I speak a lot of Shek. Music.
Where did you go to school? How was your education?
My education journey? I went to school, I started going to school, the first one, the nursery was Njoro Nursery in Jericho. And then I went to Jericho Primary. And then I transferred from Jericho Primary because I was targeted by an older lady who used to send kids to go and steal from their parents, and I happened to be one of those kids that was actually going to steal from my mom's. I'd go to my mom's handbag and go and give that lady. She really used to wait for us and want to lay us, mangoto, you know, beat us up. So since you know, and she would wait for us on the path going home. And so yeah, I'd take my taxis to her every other day, you know, and she'd pay us with mandazi. So when my mom got to know that, she was like, oh, maybe you need to change your school. So I went to Ugoja 1 Primary School. And from Ugoja 1 Primary School, I went to St. Rita's Girls, ECD. Then from St. Rita's Girls, ECD, I went to Graphics College. At the time, it was on Mara Avenue. I remember the administrator who really liked me. He was called Feroz Zarani. I don't know whether he's there. No, I understand Graphics College is in Westlands.
Yes.
And it's expanded, now it's Graphics University. Yes, yes. And then from Graphics, I did a few other courses. I did my diploma in Graphics. And then I did other courses, which are also like IT-related classes. Diplomas I got from, it was called Associated Computer Institute, AC. Associated, I think it was ASI or ACI, something like that. It was in Development House. So from there, I started working. And when I was in college, I forgot to mention, when I was in college at Graphics, I was sent to start doing my internship. And my first internship was in a company called Cysha 1975 Limited. It was at the Globe Roundabout, the roundabout Nairobi, that one. So that's why I started my internship as I was going to college. Then my second internship I did with, they were called Sharp Aztec, yeah, AZ Technology. It was owned by a guy called Stephen Boga and his brother also, very nice people from Kiambu. But then I did that for the sales part of my training. So then I had the experience of being an administrator, having worked at Cysha, and then the experience of sales and marketing, having worked under Stephen Boga and his group. Mr. Gashanja also was my immediate manager, and Yeah, then from there, I started working, and my first break is when Kenya Duty Free opened. I'd say that is my first break.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
yes.
Was the course out of passion, or it was?
You see, like the way somebody decides they want to, you look for your strengths.
Yeah.
For me, first of all, I like something that is, I'm grounded. So maybe I'm not somebody who wants to do sales, knocking doors. I want to be somewhere structured. I love structure. So administration just happened to be my strong point. And this is what I'm also doing even up to my US.
Great,
Yeah.
great. What were some of your challenges when you were going through the education system?
I don't say I had any challenges. I had a great support system in my mom, who's a single mother. She's been very pivotal in my upbringing, and maybe she had her bad days. We don't know what people go through. Yeah, I got a little spanking when I didn't deserve it. Maybe it was the stress of life then. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't complain. Yeah.
That's great. And also, through the education system that you went through, you
Yes.
went in Kenya and later also worked in Kenya. How would you say that, how does it relate, or what's the difference? How does the education system here in Kenya relate nowadays from those days? Is it any different from those days?
Well, in Kenya, no, I don't know about Kenya's education because it's just changed again.
Yeah.
Remember?
Now doing the CBC.
Yeah, I am yet to understand it.
Yeah.
But maybe I was in the CPE, Certificate of Primary Education.
Yeah.
So we had Standard 1 to Standard 7, then Form 1 to Form 4, and then Form 5 to Form 6. Yeah. And then you go to college.
Did you enjoy the studies?
We had a lot of teachers who just exercise a lot of corporal punishment also. I wish it doesn't have to be. And probably that is maybe the part where education in the US and here is a little different. Yeah. Because in the US there is no corporal punishment. If somebody wants to go to jail for life, try that with somebody's child, yes. Yeah.
Seems you are a bookworm.
No, I'm not a bookworm. No, I'm not a bookworm. Yeah, I used to read. I still read because of the kind of work I do. I have to keep reading, catching up with what I'm supposed to do. We have a lot of continuing education. No, I was not a bookworm. I was just an average child. Yeah.
Did you have any brother or sister?
Yeah, I have an older sister. She's in Connecticut, and she has a son. Unfortunately, I don't have a brother. Between my sister and I, we had a brother. My mom told me he was called Martin, but I never got to meet him. He was born in '68, so I was Martin's replacement. That's what mom says. So I believe that. Yeah.
So umemaliza shule, how did you transform from the education and now from the studies and now to working?
So like I say, my first break was when I was called for an interview to go to but Kenya Duty Free called me for an interview. Kenya Duty Free was a cream de la cream of those days. Yeah, and he used to wear pink skirt suits and a blouse can cream, So I remember one of my good friends, he retired major and he's deceased. He's the one who dropped me for that interview. And he said, you know what, don't even worry about it. I know you're going to get this job, And when I went for the interview, trust me, I was trying to pick to see whose picture looks better, And I remember the lady who interviewed me, I won't mention her name, well, maybe Miss Cindy, and there's this other guy. Later he became an MP, and he wrote a book. But I call it a Bakari. I think, if I'm not wrong. He became No, he's from the coast. And he wrote a book about politics. Politics of betrayal, because I bought his book. And they're the ones who interviewed me. They're the ones who gave me my first shot. And wherever they are, Naomi CD, thank you. You gave me that shot. And the other boss of mine who I just forgot his name, it's unfortunate, but he wrote Politics of Betrayal, the book. So I started from duty free. I started in the lounge, just like any other girl whose dream was to actually work in the lounge. I did work in the lounge.
Yeah. For how long?
Maybe about a year and a half, and then I got pregnant. Yeah, so when I got pregnant, duty free in the lounge, they were not going to have me pregnant. So I was transferred. I was taken to the stores, which I really hated. It's like a demotion. So yeah, I got pregnant. I delivered my baby, and I just never went back to duty free. But they actually had given me that. They're the ones who showed me that there's another part of life.
Yes.
You see, in Mr. Islands, there are so many things. You have these other friends and stuff, but you get to meet now the who's there, and I made a lot of friends there. A lot of friends. You meet a lot of people, and then you see the fast-paced life at the airport.
Yeah.
You get to see there's another world very fast.
Yeah.
So they gave me. I think from there, I knew if I made it here, I would one day be the passengers that are very busy. Yeah, passing through that Jomo-Kenyatta boarding flights. Now that's the next thing I knew I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because I'd conquered this one, and I just had finished it. So now I wanted to be one of the people who were boarding those planes.
Yes.
Or using those lounges.
How did those friends come to impact your life?
Oh, I have many friends. Some of them I've rested who are very. They impacted my life greatly. Some of them, like the late Honorable Joseph Nyando, a very close friend of mine. I still know him up to now. I have a lot of friends that left us that I still kind of wish they were around. The people who knew that there was some good in me and they wanted to mold me. Yeah. And was well. Yeah.
So I've seen your education journey, your working journey.
Yeah.
And I've heard that at some point you got friends that were able to influence you and dream big about even going outside the country. So how was that journey?
Me having friends who made me dream big, I wouldn't say it was their dream, it was my dream. Yeah. I had very good friends. But there's only your friends. Even when I say I'm going abroad, they're not paying my ticket.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to program myself and plan ahead. So when I decided to start working overseas is when I went to work for Emirates Airlines in Dubai. And in Emirates Airlines in Dubai, I worked with them, and I worked in the cabin's in-flight service department at the group headquarters. That's a corporate job. So that was my first corporate job in the international waters. Yeah.
Maybe because our viewers there would want to know maybe how someone can maybe go to those countries, or how easy it is to get.
It's not easy.
Because some people say there are challenges with getting a visa. Others say that you have to get some connections up there. So how was it? How did you get your documentation, your traveling documentation, your visas, and even to be accepted in that country?
Let me mention this. I think I did mention that I owned a company before I even went overseas. That's the formation of Cysha.
Oh, great.
So we had Cysha Enterprises. We were out of Gemua Housing
on so it was right.
Second floor. And I used to import cars. And I also used to do Dubai visas. I was the first two in Kenya.
That is year?
1998. I don't think you're born.
I was 2 years old.
Okay. So in 1998, I was already thinking, I had an entrepreneur mind, So I already had an office in Kenya. I was already doing Dubai visas for people. I was already bringing cars to sell, So already I had an idea of how Dubai was. When I used to go to Dubai when Dubai was nothing. All the cars were in charge. There was this development we are seeing in Dubai now. It was not there. Villas. That's when, So I've seen that place grow.
Yeah.
And they gave me an opportunity when I went to Dubai. I did start working for Emirates. Yeah. I started working for a company called Chelsea Towers.
Yeah, because now you're in a new country.
Yeah.
You've just landed at the airport.
Yeah.
How did you feel and how did you react that you are now in a new country?
No, I had my ex-husband who was there to support me because he was already working there for Emirates.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I was landing in some forest, right?
Yeah.
So, and at the time also we were trying to almost decide whether we were going to try and make our marriage work.
Okay.
You know, so when I went there, I started working for Chelsea. I got a job offer like almost immediately. You know, so I remember I told my kids, I won't leave you, you know, for too long. And mommy's coming back to get you. And in less than a month, I'm back to get the children. The rest is history. Yeah.
It's an inspiring story.
Yeah.
So you are now in Dubai.
Yeah.
How did you cope up with the life there? Now that you are used to even the time, the Kenyan time.
Yeah.
The working, you're used to Kenyan systems.
Yeah.
How did you adopt in a new country?
Adoption in Dubai was not, and excuse me, I have a very bad cold.
Sorry,
I'm still kind of feeling a bit sick.
It's a bit cold.
Yeah. So settling in Dubai was not hard because I love the country. You know, you've got to love some place to kind of feel at home. I love the place and I clicked really well with the Arabs, with the Indians, with the Kenyans who are working there. I mean the Muzungus, all of them. So I was okay, I was home, but I still love Dubai so much. Yeah. So I didn't have a problem settling in. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after that, tell us about your working experience in Dubai.
I think I was telling you about why I moved my children from Dubai, because they had a lot of Sheikh children friends. And the kind of things that the children wanted, you want the best. Now at this point, I'm totally a single mom. So you want the best for your children. And I knew that Dubai was not going to give them that. I had to now help them actualize their dream. So I took them to the US. They lived with my sister for 2 years. But for this period of time, I was always Dubai, Nairobi.
Your sister was already in the US.
Yeah, she had been there. Yeah, okay. And my mom too was already there.
So it was easier even for you to.
Yeah. To take them there. That's the reason. Otherwise, I wouldn't have taken them. Where would I take them? You know. So I was always moving Nairobi, Dubai, US, Nairobi. You know, I was always, because mom also used to send me back to Nairobi to do stuff for her.
Yeah.
So then finally I asked myself, why am I even still hanging around? My life is so empty in this country, and I miss my kids. I talk to them every day. Those days we used to have Skype. But my life is so empty. And if you know me, I love my children, love my everything. So I decided in March of 2009, I decided to just leave and go to the US. I resigned from Emirates when I was 2 months in the US. That's when I made my decision. I'm not going back. Yeah. I'm going to stay here and hustle, and that's what I did. So
you now ventured into self-employment.
I wouldn't say that. I wasn't ready for that.
Or you are still
remember? No. In the US, you don't become self-employed. That's a dream. I don't know who told you it is that easy. Okay. In the US, when you go to the US now, you now have to look for kazi za chini ya maji, kazi chafu. So me, I started one time I did work in a hotel, and I remember I had a kawig. So under the bed, this kawig kalishikwa na springs huko. So I pulled out of the bed. Kawig kakabaki chini. Now I can laugh about it, but then it was not funny. And then I started working as a caregiver. I don't know whether you know what a caregiver is.
Taking care of the elderly.
Taking care of the elderly, yes. So I started working for an agency. The agency sends you somewhere, and then you go and take care of this sick person. And I had this patient. She used to smoke 2 cigarettes, corner to corner. She had cancer. So she decided, this cancer is killing me, I'd rather just go out in style. So she used to smoke both cigarettes, So I had a karibu yake ya tatu. So I worked with her, and that was the first time I ever experienced death. Like, you're there, the whole shebang, not good. And that is the first time I ever washed a dead body.
And how did it feel now that you are not used to seeing people die? You are not used to seeing people who are so sick. how did you feel, and what did you learn from?
I've seen sick people. Let's not say I had not seen sick people. Like my grandmother died, she was sick. So and I was very young, so that still was there. One of my favorite cousins died. So I've experienced death as a kid.
Yeah.
But now in this one, you're working. That person is there, breathing their last.
Yeah.
That's different. And then when she passed away, I remember I went outside. It was so cold because it was winter. I went outside because I couldn't stay in that house.
Yeah.
And until the people from the morgue came, until her family members came.
Yeah.
And when they came in the morning, let me tell you, there's some people who are phased, come and say, they'll come in the morning, because they'll finish their sleep and go.
So it was in a house setup. It wasn't.
It was in a home setup.
It wasn't
in
a hospital.
No, it was. This one was private care in a home, in their home.
Yeah. How are the health systems then in the US?
Oh, the best.
Yeah.
The best. Yes, they're good. I mean, US does not play.
Yeah.
They have very good medical.
So they were able to be treated at home. The doctors could come.
Not doctors. Usually it would be nurses. Nurses, they
nurses.
are very like almost doctorish. They've been given a lot of power there. So they are the ones who come home, and especially because she was in hospice, it is a hospice nurses who come.
Yeah. Did you think of going back home at some point, thinking of maybe I should go back to Kenya because of what you are facing now that you are having all these challenges?
Oh yeah. Many a times I cried myself to sleep. But there's one thing I never did. I didn't want to show my children how bad it was.
Yeah.
Many times I cried myself to sleep. My bed had so many pillows. I would coil myself with the pillows, because I'm like, no, what did I do? Was this the right decision? This is painful. From corporate Dubai to wiping people, washing people, families can be terrible. The patients too. I've had patients throw me poop. And you clean it.
Yeah.
But there's this thing in my heart. I knew that God wanted me to experience that.
Yeah.
I knew that my God wanted me to live that, to know that, to make me a better person. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
It really molded my path. I was not a bad person per se, but this experience made me a better person.
Yeah. And how was your life in terms of religion, in terms of your relationship with God? Did you start in Kenya or did you start in the US?
I'm spiritual, I'm not like one of those people at a Sunday person. I can do even 2 years without going to a church.
Yeah.
Because I know that God listens and hears our prayers wherever we are, like here where we are. If you sit here and pray to God, He hears. I don't have to go somewhere to send prayers through, I don't know, man of God or woman of God or mama or dad or pops. I don't have to do that. That's what I believe in. And again, I must say this: I am an Anglican, right?
Yes.
And
your mom was an Anglican.
That my shosho.
And your shosho.
My shosho first before my mother, right?
Yeah.
So that is my shosho's church, and that is how we were raised, Anglicans.
Yes.
So I don't go to these churches of prosperity because I don't believe in them. I don't go to these churches of talking in tongues because Anglicans, we don't do that, right? So me, I remember my shosho was saved, and she's the most genuine saved person, even up to dare say it.
Yeah.
So she taught me, because we used to be deported to Gishangi we'd close Friday today, school, and mom would deport us to Gishangi Saturday. So that whole period of it was me and Shoshu, So I know the Anglican part of a church, and that is how I live it. That's why you will not find me in those churches of prosperity, because I think Shoshu would smack me, So I went to church. I did, but when it got a little crazy, I avoided those churches.
Now you are still working in the US. You are caring for these elderly people. You are caring for these sickly people. Did you have people to encourage you when you were doing all this work? When you thought about maybe you would go back to Kenya?
No, I kept myself very sheltered. My primary my primary concern was my children.
Yeah.
You know, how do I make bills? How do I get us to have food and clothes on our backs? I was very sheltered. Very few people in the US would say they know me.
Yeah.
As of, I mean, and especially Kenyans. You know, when I say sheltered, I'm saying like, you know, hizo party ati, oh, kuna party kwa nani, I didn't do that. I did not do that. I can count, maybe I went from maybe less than 10.
Yeah, so you didn't have that social life?
No, I worked a lot.
Yeah.
I worked a lot. Remember, I'm the only parent taking care of this two. And I'm being paid minimum. I was being paid $10 an hour. I was living in a house where I was paying $775 a month. So if I say I'm going to be like everybody else who wants to go party, and remember I'm not a nurse, I'm a nursing assistant.
Okay.
So now your $10 itatolewa tax. Okay? So meaning I'm doing 10 times 40, so I was making like a check of like $400 every week. If you have $400 utatoa mafuta. Utoe expenses, what it's nothing.
At the end of the day you are left.
You are left nothing. That's why you hear people in the US who say, you are 2 checks away from being homeless. So when people are partying, when they turn up parties, you know, me, I never went.
Yeah.
I worked even more. I wanted to work. So it got to a point where now I decided even this to CNA jobs in the local to Skumoja and then Saturday Yonikani. Now I started working in an agency from New York. And they now would send me out of state to other places. Yeah. And then now that one is called Live-In. So
during this time, who are you leaving the kids with?
No, this time my daughter was older. Okay. Yeah, so in the US you can't leave a child under the age of 12 alone. But my daughter by this time she's like 17, 18. You know? So I mean my kids are very well organized and structured and very disciplined. Yeah. So yeah, and we always talked. Yeah. You know, we always talked. The school bus, you know, they knew what it was about. They knew, so they knew. I mean, if I didn't do it that way, I don't know how I would have done it. Yeah.
How long have you lived in the US now?
I'll say maybe about, count from 2006. What is that? 18 years.
It should be
18 years.
Yes. And you don't talk like you are the people who go. There are people who go for 2 years and they come with their foreign language. Wanaongea na ile inaitwa ya mapua.
Sasa inaongea na mapua hicho kioma niko nacho. No, but no. I said, demo mtaba. Sasa how do I even how now? I mean, like, people say at that route. I'm like, sisi tunaitanga routes. Ruti, they call it, even Kenyans, you hear them saying at route. What the heck? No, me, I love my country. Yeah. I love my tongue. Yeah. I'm never going to try and be somebody else. Meaning Kenya, I think you can just see how Kenyan I am. And no, I never tried to. And I've had those people back in the US ask me, how long have you been here? When I tell them, they say, why don't you didn't lose your accent? I'm not trying to, and I always tell them, I'm not trying to lose my accent. I was trying to lose my accent. I love my accent. We live Kenya, but okay? You can't make me, change at the American. Those people who do that are very fake. Yeah. I think they are very fake. I think they are very insecure. They're trying to put a front. Because I think when you know who you are and what you're worth, why would you ever want to come kitu ingine? That's why even now we're having, people believing they should have been born boys or boys believe they should have been born girls, because we don't accept who we are. You have to learn to love yourself and accept who you are and your background and your journey. I always say, and I used to tell my children, never forget your journey. And I also reminded myself, I said.
Yeah. So in the 18 years you are now in the US, what are the differences you can say, the things that are different from Kenya when you relate with Kenya? Are there any differences that you see in terms of even the system, the way things work, the government?
Let me not talk about government because I don't want to be...
I'm not a politician.
But small things like in the US, snow. We don't have snow, right? Fuel in your car. you fuel your car on your own in the US. Hapa to a petrol station ndio anakujazia. You know, small things. Like here you're almost living like you're you know, it's nice. Huko it's different. You know, so small things like that. Lakini when it comes to the educational system, I think the US is really on top of stuff. They take care of their children. Sana. Yeah.
I've seen you have a program running on an organization called Cysha.
Yes.
At what point could you give us a brief history about Cysha, what the word Cysha means, and how maybe you came up with the idea of coming up with this organization?
Right. So Cysha started I told you I have 2 children. I have a daughter. She's now 31 and she's a doctor in the US. And I have a son. He's 26 and he's an ATP commercial pilot in the US. Those are the 2 children. So my son was born in 1997. My daughter was born in 92 December. My son was born in 97 April. So this is what happened. When I decided I wanted to get into business, I joined the names. My daughter's name is Sable, C-Y, and my son's name is Sean, S-H-A. So I joined the 2, and then I went ahead and registered Cysha Enterprises. And that Cysha Enterprises is the one I was doing people's visas. I was importing cars. I used to have a bureau in the office.
Did you register it as a company?
It's an enterprise.
An enterprise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not a company.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You know, because when you register a company, a limited company, there are so many things that you have to, you know, to prove and to show and all that. So I didn't want to be in that place where I'm doing things above my means. Limited companies are not easy to register. Yeah.
So you are importing cars.
Yeah.
Which other businesses were you doing?
Oh, I just did a lot of cars, and I also had transport business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So that was then.
Yeah.
So in the US, when I was in the US, me and a friend of mine who is late decided, I opened the company. I called it Selfless International, but it was out of the US. So I asked my friend to register the same Selfless International here, where I was a founder and he was a co-founder. So we started Selfless International. And then now with time, I launched Cysha Inc. this last Saturday, 27th of January.
Yeah,
thank you. And that is when Cysha Inc. was officially launched, and it is a 501c registered in Florida, USA, and it's a 501c means a non-profit. Yes, entity. Yeah, it's a charitable organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you intend to achieve with this organization?
Let me tell you, like I said, I grew up in Jericho, so I see poverty too. Not my mom took care of us, but around, you know, you find one house has like 12 children, you know. But I saw poverty, and even the fact that I ended up being a single mom with all the struggles. So I decided that I wanted to do something that was going to really look into mothers and their little children. A lot of single moms out there, you find they're going out, wakiachwa, they kill themselves, they kill the children, kind of a thing. So that's what I looked at. And since I was like a small girl in Jericho, I knew that one day I'm going to serve mankind. Let me put it that way. And I even tried to vie for a seat. Did I tell you? I tried to vie for a seat in 2002 and Nginyo Karaoke's party. Yeah? And I lost by 42 votes.
Where exactly? Was it
Harambe what? In Mnaita MCS quiz that time it was called a cancel.
Yeah, cancel.
I lost by 42 votes. No, nilikuwa rigged because they closed the polling station before my last 2 pickups came. Na hizo pickups zilikuwa zimejaa mpaka zinaenda hivi. Wakaona wakafunga pit. But the guy who took that seat, may he rest in peace, he did me wrong.
Are you still involved in politics?
No. Yeah. The one thing I promised my kids is that I will not do politics again. Because my kids were gluing their mommy's poster on eka gum ile unga Yeah, chapati. Kwa post. And like my son, sasa kanatosha na hii. Sasa kateka. Bana kanafikia.
You didn't have people to
I had a lot of people, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot.
If you have 500, 1,000 posters.
Yeah.
Even you want your kids to also, just participate because they're not coming to do it. Yeah, so yeah, no, I'll never. No, I'm not political. Ilisha. I was younger, I was 32. Actually, I was 32. So no. I'm not in politics, I'm not interested. This is just some of the things that, propelled me because of just seeing how I wanted to change stuff.
Yeah.
I was hoping that time when I become a councillor, nikienda City Hall, I will campaign huko mayor kama Bernard-Kenyan-American. I was hoping for that, but it didn't happen because that was not once.
You have told us that you saw a lot of challenges with people, the children, the families, different families, even those in the slums, and even at some point thought of vying for a seat so that you can solve some of these solutions.
Yeah, just change the narrative.
Yes. Could you have one story of a person that you really saw in those days, which if Cysha would have been there would have helped?
Oh, let me tell you, Cysha has helped a lot of people.
The other day I saw you in Kayole in a children's home.
That was just a donation. It's not part of Cysha. That is absolutely has nothing to do with Cysha. Okay. That was just me wanting to go and see the kids because I know about that nursing children's home. I know the owner is a friend, and I was just taking the little that I had. We don't have any we are not partners in anything. I just wanted to go and give a small gift. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, what story touched you? If you can give us a story that touched you.
I remember I can't remember which year, but this Kayali boy had passed so well in Kiambu. Alikuwa anaitwa Master William, tulikuwa tunamuita Master William. And this case was brought forward to me by the late MCA or Lakeview Ward. We went to see the family the other day, Peter Karanja. And Karanja Mboro rather. And he told me about this boy. He had passed so well, and hawakuwa na tumaini. They didn't know where to start, and the mom was terminally ill. She had HIV and AIDS. So when he told me about that, I said, "Oh my God, what am I going to do about this?" So I told Peter, we are going to, and it was around my son's birthday. I remember. So I told my son about it. Every time during my children's birthday, I'd give each $100. I'd give them $100, and I would match up again later, just before the birthday. So that's $200. So I'd given my son money, and Peter was talking to me and sent those pictures. And by this time, I'd bought the uniform, paid school fees for this boy, And then my son, Sean, he looked at the pictures as I was looking at them, going through them. And he asked me, "Who are these, mommy?" And I said, I gave him a story. Then I said, and I told him the mom doesn't have much, she's almost grown. And he said, "And mommy, we are just about to have Easter." I said, "Yeah, it's going to probably be, this family's last Easter with their mom." My son said, "My birthday present, just give it. Don't buy me anything. Just give it. Give it to them." So that's what happened. He gave me his 200, and me, I marked up another 200. And Akina Peter went there. They made chapatis, they made stews, they did. It was a beautiful Easter. Shortly after that, the mom, of course, rested. But the boy, I think by now, maybe he's I don't know where he is, Master William, but I know that we took care of him. And then when Mheshimiwa Kimani Ichung'wah was vying for, where is he an MP at? Kikuyu, because that was his area. I think when he heard about the fact that this boy, we were taking care of him, he also wanted, for him, he wanted political mileage. I guess that's what it was. Then he took over. So the boy must have finished campus. Where he back?
I can see your blanch and your banner here, and I can see the logo here. I can see there are some two flags here, and of course the name.
Yes.
Could you maybe explain the choice, why you came up with this logo, and why we have the flags, USA
Yes.
and the Kenyan flag in this band?
Okay. So the Kenya USA flag is because I'm a dual citizen. I'm a Kenyan, proudly Kenyan, I always say that,
Yes.
and I'm also an American citizen. So that's why you have that. Cysha, also remember, it was born in Kenya in 1998. And Cysha Inc. was born in the US in 2021. So that's why the two flags appear, because of the fact that I'm a dual citizen. And then here, this is a logo of just a man and a woman, you know.
I can see the red drink.
And the infinity sign, right? And if you look down here, it shows nguvu ya mapenzi. You translate it in English, it's the power of love. The power of love.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite songs is by Luther Vandross, and it's called The Power of Love. My all-time favorite song. So I put everything that means something to me. So that is why you see that, and I translated it in Swahili. Yeah. And then we talk about love because we love every time, love. So I said love, the city that never sleeps, because love never goes.
Sure.
Yeah. When you're just sleeping, another one is waking up. You know. Yeah. So everything that I put out for the logo or for our branding was well thought out.
I was trying to translate it in our language, and
Hinyawa.
Yes. They are very strong words.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
and love, the city that never sleeps.
Yes, love.
Yeah.
Is a city like Nairobi. You say Nairobi city, but now this city called love never sleeps, because every time you're thinking, how's my mom doing? How's my wife doing? How's my child doing? You know, that love is just ever rolling.
Yeah,
you know.
sure.
Yeah. That's why everything the branding itself, I really sat down and thought about it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, before this branding, I just had spinal cord surgery. I don't know whether you know that. So after I woke up, because I told God, if I sleep, if they put me to sleep and I don't wake up, it's fine. I believe I've done something. You know, my kids are grown, so I'll be okay. But if I wake up, Lord, use me. So all this branding was, I had my spinal cord surgery on the 4th of December 2023. It's now 7 weeks.
Yeah, 7 weeks.
And God. Thank you, it's God. So all this came to me after I woke up.
Yeah.
Remember I said, use me to serve you.
To serve.
This just came. This is all I got. And I decided this is the time to launch Cysha Inc. Instead of doing things chini ya maji, the way I've always done, selfless, you know, pole pole, I decided to go big on this. It had already been registered at 501, branding had not been done. So now I decided to do branding because now we are full throttle, we are going, now we are really going to get into it. Once I get a little better, we are going to get into it. But I have a good team in Nairobi, a very good team, so I know we'll be okay. Yeah.
Still on the flag, we have the Kenyan flag and the American flag.
Yeah.
Does it have any relation with the people investing back to the country?
I would ask people out there to invest and be friends of Cysha.
Yeah.
But they are not, this is a 501c. So anyone who wants to partner with us is free to do so. Anywhere in the world. Yeah. US, in Kenya, whichever part of the world you are in, you decide you're going to be a friend of Cysha. Yeah. You can always join us. You know, if you say we are going to be taking, say, to go see the elderly, nyumbani home, or going to take sanitary towels somewhere, there are people who can help us, you know, get somewhere, get there, donate books, you know. I think tomorrow, or Thursday, we are going to Kibra. We were invited there. People in Kibra want to see us and they want to partner with us. So that's what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter, I'm not talking about, you know, you have to be so rich to partner with Cysha. Yeah. Cysha right now is really a non-profit, and everything that is happening, I'm funding it fully from my little salary, you know. So with time, we're going to get resources, and when that time comes, when we get those resources, I think then I'll probably quit my corporate America job and then go
Sunday
full force, Cysha.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Great. So, the organization, what are the other programs that you'll be doing apart from maybe giving the needy? Or do you have other programs, maybe like mentorship programs?
Yes, we have mentorship, and I don't know when I told you I'm married to a university professor. He's an American, and he's very big on education. So one of the things we're going to also focus on is mentoring kids and also emphasizing on the need for good education.
Yeah. Does he support the idea of Cysha?
My husband supports everything I do.
Yeah.
I am so lucky.
Yeah.
He supports.
Great.
He supports. He's a Christian man. He's a Christian man. He's very close. God is in him.
Yeah.
You know, and he supports everything. I'm very fortunate when it comes to that.
Yeah.
So one of the things we're going to do is, as we're working towards, mentoring, education, we're saying about the less fortunate also.
Yes.
There's a lot under Cysha. There's one part of also Cysha, under Cysha Enterprises,
Yes.
that will also be doing tourism, because I want to sell tourism in the US big time. Because why I'm doing that also, besides everything else, is because of the beautiful country that Kenya is. You know?
Really
Yes. So we are looking at, there are 10 bullet points of what Cysha is all about. What you can do once we set up the website, those 10 bullet points will be there in the website to just show every bit of what Cysha will be involved in.
When will be the website ready?
I was hoping that it will be ready by the launch, which is on the 27th. But you see, I plan things and God knows otherwise. I'm hoping that when I go back, maybe it should be ready maybe by end of February. Yeah.
Now that you
Or
have,
sooner, depending.
Yeah. Now that you have launched Cysha in Kenya, do you have a running office, or you told me that you are working with a team? Do you have a running office? How do you intend to continue working?
Yeah, right now we all know that it is possible to work remotely.
Yes, sure.
You know, and especially COVID taught us something.
COVID,
COVID taught us that you don't really have to have an office.
You can have online meetings.
Yes, and we do that, and I work
in
for a very big firm in the US. Yeah, and most of the times, all the meetings we have, I am always in the office. But there are those ones who opted to work from home, the remote ones. I am kind of like, what do they call it? What do they call it? Like I can work at home once in a while, but based out of the office. But hybrid. I'm a hybrid employee. But most of the people nowadays opt to work from home. But for Cysha, it won't be any different. If every other organization, big companies, are seeing the need of working, cutting the costs, before we get to a point of, remember, I'm pumping everything from my pocket. Huh? Before we think of going so big and opening a big office and we're still struggling, we will continue working remotely, because most of the work is going to really be on my side. And then once the remote thing is not in, it's not yielding any fruits, yes, and we grow big, we are going to have a little small office, not very fancy, but just a small office where the team can get in and do some work and also have some team building and believe in that around.
What are the future plans of Cysha?
Grow big. Grow big.
Yeah.
We are not stopping. And long after I'm gone, I want Cysha to still remain and still continue to do what my dream was. That little girl from that Kajeriko house you saw.
Yes.
I want Cysha to be something that grows. It's not mine, but I want it to continue growing and doing good. I want it to just bushfire grow. Yeah.
It's a really great initiative.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, looking at Kenya, we are facing so many challenges. We have children sleeping hungry, women with early pregnancies, women facing all manner of violence, especially in Kenya, and so many other things that are facing Kenyans.
Yeah.
So I would want you maybe to encourage that viewer who is back there home trying to maybe look at how things will work, things are not working out.
Right.
Probably he or she doesn't have school fees, it's a child, he or she does not have school fees. Those who do not have shelter, probably they don't have a home. And yes.
I'll just say this. I don't know whether I told you that one time in the US, my children and I walked because we were chased away. This is a story for another day. Let me leave it there for another interview. But what I'll tell the people is this. If I didn't give up, don't give up. There is God in heaven. Just bank on Him, pray. And also we have resources, I believe, with all these people who were elected in office here in Kenya. You have your local women rep. You have your local, MCA. You have your local leaders, your chief, your children's department, Don't go killing your children and then kill yourself. Don't do that. Because remember, there is judgment after our life here. Think about tomorrow. If you go to be on the other side, how will you be judged on the other side? So never give up. You just have to keep strong. Women, we have to learn to keep strong for our babies. Because those children are the leaders of tomorrow, and they're the ones who will even come and save us when we are. If we give up on them now when they can't do anything, how do we expect them to make it? If we give up on ourselves and them. Be strong. See, I'm talking, I'm getting a bit teary. I'm talking as a woman who's gone through it.
And as a mother.
And as a mom. Be strong. There's always hope. Don't give up.
And you have maybe a channel where maybe people can reach you out on social media platform about this organization?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube, and you'll see the YouTube channel. I'm sure it will be shown. And YouTube is Marj Wanjiku or Bernard. That is a YouTube. And then I have Facebook. Facebook is Marjorie Wanjiku Bernard. Instagram and Twitter, even my kids are amused that I'm in those things. But you find me there too once in a while. Maybe I'll throw some of these interviews there or those little shorts. Yeah.
We now even have TikTok.
Yeah, I'm in TikTok, but my son made me join TikTok because he sent me. I told you he's a pilot. So when he's bored, like he's waiting for passengers to board the plane so that they can go, he sends me little TikTok thingies. Yeah. I love animals. So anything cat, dog, he'll always send those ones to me. That's why I'm on TikTok, because of him. Yeah. So in short, I'm just saying, we gotta love each other. This life is really brief, So we have to love each other, and we just have to know that we are going through a lot. And me, all I'm offering is that path where we can be able to communicate, we can be able to walk with the people who actually need, someone to listen to them, and maybe even, we're going to try and knock on doors even here. Knock on doors. Sorry, I'm a bit teary again. But we're going to try and knock on doors and see how we can help.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a very inspiring story. I hope our viewers have been inspired by this show. Karibu tena.
Asante.
Thank you for being our guest today.
Asante.
Yes.
Asante. I enjoyed the interview, and I hope to meet you again soon.
Okay, thank you so much.
You.